Okay, no countdown today because we're running a little bit late. So much so that it's now 1 minute to the hour, and we've basically got nothing. We've got no timetable set. We've set up very, very late. There's a reason. I will explain when we come on air. But already we've got one or two people joining us. Hello there. What on earth are you doing watching this on a bank holiday Sunday? Good grief. It's Easter. You should be with your friends or your family and eating chocolate and generally relaxing. But you're here, and I'll tell you something I appreciate. Thank you very much indeed. As always, really appreciate you tuning in and hitting the old subscriptions and notifications. That's the only way that you'd have be watching straight away. It's the way of the world. Dan Berry is watching. We're going to be coming to you shortly because you've pointed something out to me, but I suspect you may not have hit the target on that one. I shall explain. We'll get to that. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's saying it, but I don't think, man. I think you might have just pulled the trigger a little bit too early on that. Tell you what, it's top of the hour. Let's go into the opening credits. We will talk about that and other stuff after this. All in all, bit of a short one, this one, I think, but let's see what happens. Hello, everybody, and welcome along to Talkin Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. My name is Leonard Sultana. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much indeed for watching straight off the bat. If you are watching pretty much from the second we went live, and to be fair, I'm very impressed. I hit live. It was a little bit late, and already we had like 4 or 5 people just like jumping straight into it, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's going to be a bit of a shorter one than usual, if anything, because I was trying to organize guests literally to the final minute of today's show, and all of them have basically blobbed out on me purely because, and they've all turned around and said, it's Sunday, it's Easter Sunday, and we've got family and friends to kind of speak to. And to be fair, I mean, you know what? I think I'm going to keep it a little bit brief because yes, let's have you're spending a little bit more time with your friends and family, and but you know what? You say he's always going to say it's really short, and I know. And to be fair, we have got some stuff to talk about, but not as so not as mental as we usually get. I don't think we're going to get a full hour, if anything, a half hour out of today's show, but we'll see what happens. But welcome along to Talkin Con. If this is your first time watching, if you found us on the old YouTubes or wherever. This is a show where we talk Comic-Cons, con culture, and everything, stuff and nonsense leading up to conventions, including some of the big shows that are taking place, not only in North America, but also here in the UK as well, and across the globe. We try our best to cover all of that. We got a whole bunch of people who are watching. Hello there. Welcome along to Andrew English, evening from London, into the blue mister. Evening all. Greetings from sunny Wales. Yeah, it's been a nice day here in Yorkshire. I mean, heaven knows we had a full roast dinner outside on the garden furniture, and I got slightly blinded. So yes, it's been a lovely day, but it's starting to chill off a bit at the back end. So you know what? It's just a nice way to finish off our day. Dan Berry says, yo, and Chuck Cook says, happy Easter. And yeah, we're all going to dive in. And Aaron Neighbors is joining us as well. Hola from San Diego. You know what? I cannot wait to see you. And I cannot wait to see all my friends in San Diego in July. We're all getting ourselves wound up for it. There's plans afoot. I have been confirmed by Eddie Ibrahim, who's the head of programming, certainly for Hall H, but mostly for most of the programs at San Diego Comic-Con. They are accepting panels for Comic-Con 2022. I've got a couple of ideas which I'm going to be submitting for, including a follow-up panel for the British Invasion panel I did back in 2016, something like that. I had a great time doing that, and I really want to get back and kind of follow on from that particular effort, because as many people who may have seen it, I think I have posted it online, and also we posted a whole bunch of just kind of updated about the actual panel itself. But I had Paul Levitz, who was one of the key players of the British Invasion back in the mid 1980s, and basically said, so what's your thoughts on the legacy of the British Invasion? Where did you think it all started? And he said, well, if you want to talk about the British Invasion, you really need to go back to the British comics of the late 1970s. And I just went, I see where this is going. So it turned into a very in-depth investigation into those early formative years. And I think we really could get into later on in the way that the talent was being brought over, and what talent and how they were treated coming over to the UK. So yes, the second part I think is very much justified, and I'm looking forward to submitting my panel. I know there's Michael P that's wanting to submit a panel about The Expanse. There's a whole bunch of panels that will be submitted for San Diego Comic-Con. Those are open right now. While we're talking San Diego Comic-Con, let's get into some other stuff that's been announced today. The exhibitors' hotel bookings, they were opened up today as well. This week as well. This is where the exhibitors are given first priority on a number of hotel bookings to allow them to get, they've been allocated tables. Now they've been allocated rooms in the San Diego, and friends like Tony Kim from Hero Within, he got his choice of hotel. There's a whole bunch of artists and exhibitors that they've got theirs. They're all looking forward to it, and really kind of gearing up for 2022. And yeah, we're also going to be doing something along the same lines, because we're going to be starting something as of not next week, but the week after, which is going to be the 1st of May. He says, let's just confirming the date. Yes, the 1st of May. And it's going to be the first of our hang on a second, that's definitely a wrong 2016. I don't think so. I need to kind of change the graphic on that. No, I might as well put it up. It's basically a little bit of a graphic. It's the Englishman's Road to San Diego. We're going to be basically changing this, but it's an idea that I had back in 2016, where we were going to be doing a road trip actually across America to visit San Diego. But that's the kind of graphic that we brought up. But yes, a road to San Diego, and it's going to be a weekly show where we're going to be talking about hints and tips about getting the most out of not only San Diego Comic-Con, but the city itself. If you're traveling some distance to get to the West Coast, what you can expect. Maybe it's your first time heading to San Diego Comic-Con. I know that there's a number of people who are watching the show that are long time advocates and fans of San Diego Comic-Con. But now it's a case of let's also welcome those that may be coming for the first time, that did get those tickets in 2022, those badges that were bought, and have waited 2 years to attend the show. So we're going to be diving into all of that as of the 1st. It's the Road to San Diego that's going to be taking place. Whole bunch of people diving into the chats. Let's have a look at this. We've got ourselves Leanne saying, congrats, Chuck Cook, on your son's nuptials. Excellent stuff. I missed this on the old social medias. Excellent stuff. Congratulations, Chuck. And indeed saying thank you. It was lovely. Congratulations to your son. And yes, to a long and happy one. Congratulations to him. Excellent stuff indeed. Into the Blue Mister, I came down with a bad case of concrete after Swansea Comic-Con. Not COVID, but a bad cold. Ugh. Yes, you're not on your own. Like I say, last week I was kind of on the back end of my cold. It was prescribed as by the GP as tonsillitis. Wasn't well at all. Certainly the week before, and I'm stunned I got through the show as much as I did last week. It was a fair old hard slog to get through, but yeah, it was a tough one. I think most people are getting into that thing where they're getting into cons, and at the end of the day, we haven't been in contact with other people for a year and a half, so we're more susceptible to con crud and to not feeling at all well. We had, a tweet that went out, which I was. Sorry, I'm just checking one or two notifications, and I basically put something out, or someone put something out, and I think it was. Let's have a look at who it was. It was Joe Kazone or Quinones. Yes, Joe Q. Who amongst you is going to SDCC? Should I go this year? And I basically said, I'm fully vaxxed and boosted, getting my second booster before July, which I am. It's fully booked up and ready to go. I'll be wearing my mask in close quarters, keeping my distance best I can. No big surprise bear hugs from me this year. I'm going to SDCC, and I hope everyone goes too, but only if you feel absolutely comfortable. I know Leandy is very wary about attending a convention at this point, and I get it. I totally get it. You should only go to a show. You should only go to a convention if you are absolutely comfortable. Simple as. Aaron Neighbors, hope to see some of you at San Diego Comic Fest this coming weekend. That's next Sunday. I'll be moderating a panel with Rob Sakowitz on Sunday, covering the comics industry trends and forecasts in Palm Bay at 2 p.m. That should be a fun show, a fun panel. Excellent stuff. Rob is always a great company, and of course, Aaron Neighbors as well. That's going to be a nice little room to be in, and that's going to be great. Veronica Nunez, I'm in full prep for Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. I'm going to a small con in Vegas next weekend. Do let us know how that goes, how it feels to get back into the con swing of the thing. Sarita P, I booked my return home flight for SDCC. I'm all set. Just need to save me more money. Boy, do I feel that. Yes, we've got our flights. We are still trying to nail down our accommodation because we need to try and sort of something for the week before San Diego Comic-Con and the week after. So it's not just the con week. We can't just go into Hotel Apocalypse. We want to try and stretch out a bit. So we're looking a little bit further afield, certainly when it comes to a condo in San Diego. So we're looking into that at the moment, keeping our feelers open for some good options. Michael P, Veronica, I'm scheduled to be at Star Wars Celebration 2. Have yourself a great time at that particular show. So let's dive into certainly what Dan Berry was talking about at the top of the show, because he was saying that we may have some news, a little bit of breaking headline. Well, that was a bit of a tease, so let's dive into it. This is regarding something that he has spotted, which we do keep our eyes open, but Dan has been the one that's really spotted it this time round. And basically, it is to be found on the calendar for San Diego Convention Center. So if we head to this particular window and bring up our menu for 2022, we have here this event taking place July 21st. July 24th. It's attendance of 135,000. There you go, a bit of a number for you there. At least you have an idea of how many officially get through the door. 135,000 for San Diego Comic-Con International 2022. Open to the public. There's a convention trade show. We've got all the information there, but it's taking place, of course, July 21st to July 24th. However, that isn't what has caught Dan's attention. What has caught Dan's attention is this, which is another event that's taking place 12 months down the road. So let's bring this up. And this is 2023. And it is, again, part of the San Diego Convention event. And he's basically stating it's a Thursday to Sunday show. Con never lists Wednesday on the schedule. This is a private convention open to the convention. Let's get this right. Private convention with trade show. And it's on the 20. Here we go. It's 20. Where are we at? It's there. It's July. That's what I'm looking at. So July 20th to the 23rd. That's the show that he's talking about. If that's the case, that's what he's thinking is going to be San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Now, the thing about that is, if we actually go back to the July listing for this year, there is actually a very similar trade show that also takes place around the 20th, more mid of the yes, this one here. So we have a private event, convention with trade show, not open to the public, very similar description. However, this is a 4-day show, and likewise, the other one is a 4-day show as well. I'm going to hold off on announcing on that one because it doesn't have an attendance scheduled with it, which I can imagine if there is San Diego Comic-Con, they're keeping to themselves, maybe. But it's very possible that that is the one you're looking at. July 20th to July 23rd, private event, convention with trade show. That is what is currently listed for that period of July. Nothing else in July at the moment. But like I say, there are other events that do take place. So I'm not going to just go blast out and say, you know what, I think that's going to be our weekend, because I don't know. It's still a little bit up in the air for me, considering that they have things like the National Apartment Association. You've got other events that are taking place. You've got, for example, June 28th, 29th, private event, convention only, of attendance 5,000 people. You've got these shows that are kind of like in the same ballpark. You never know, though. That could be our boy. So you could see something to keep your eye on. Let's have a look at this. So Into the Blue, Mister. So wait, well, you're just telling me I booked tickets for a hotel for the 2023 SoCal Dental Convention. Yeah, I don't know. I'm being a little bit cautious. I'm going to be a little bit cautious about announcing that that is going to be our San Diego Comic-Con. Chuck Cook, it's either going to be SDCC or ArcGIS. GIS. What happened to the show that was about global, geomapping? That used to be a big show that took place around the kind of ballpark of San Diego Comic-Con, either the week before, week after. I'm just wondering, has that been now moved to a different part of the year? Sorry, I'm just seeing a couple of your comments. Here we go. Let's have a look. One or two people. Did the who put Lenin Carbonite? He froze. I have no idea what happened to my internet there. The internet's proving a little bit problematic today. I'm just trying to work out if it's, because I'm now streaming off my phone. So if things get really choppy, you'll understand why. It's now running off 4G off my phone. I get this sneaking suspicion that everyone's at home and you hitting the internet because it's the Easter weekend. So sorry about that. Yes, but a couple of people are jumping in. Chug Cook, the ESRI, Esri, mapping software. Yeah, that's the one. But thank you very much, Judy, for did the con gods shut him down? Yeah, Glass. Yeah, I like this. Was the one that got me. This is the one that got me going. Yeah, he breaks possible news in his stream breaks. Glasner's revenge. Yes, there you go. Into the blue mister. He didn't spill a cider on the keyboard again. No, he didn't. Sorry about that. Not a clue what happened there. Do apologize. Where were we? Right. So that's what we're looking at. A very possible date for San Diego Comic-Con 2023. If you're up for it, if you want to keep your eyes open, that could be our one. Let's bring it up on the screen. It's right there. Private event show taking place 20th to the 23rd of 2023. That could be our one. Let's have a look at this. Dan Berry, you pissed off Glanzer. He called YouTube to shut you down. You know what? I won't be at all surprised, but no, I doubt it very much. I'm picturing a lot of cursing and frantic activity. Not from this end. You know, I'm far too chill for that now. I'm far too chill for that. So there you go. Good to see Andrew Dickinson joining as well. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're feeling better, because I know you weren't feeling too hot last week either. Okay. So we were going to be having a guest or three this week. I had a whole bunch. I mean, Carl was, oh, that's the big news at the beginning of the stream. I think so. But it's speculation at this point. I do not wish to put anything out there which states that that's what I think is, because it's still a little bit vague. But it's still a very educated guess. And not only that, but it's the same. It's the right time. It's 4 days. It's I mean, they never add the Wednesday to it, so it is usually the Thursday to the Sunday which they're listing. So yeah, an educated guess. There we go. We'll put it out into the ether, but that's what we're looking at. Very possible for the 20th to the 23rd of next year. But let's get this year out of the way first. So, along with all the other things that are being talked about, like I say, they're taking panel applications for 2022. They're taking hotel bookings for exhibitors, and people have got tables at the show. It's now time for Hotel Apocalypse. We suspect it's going to be before the end of the month. So by the time I do the road to San Diego, first show in 2 weeks' time, we may be deep into Hotel Apocalypse. We may be talking about that. Are you up for Hotel Apocalypse? Is it something you're waiting for? Have you booked for hotel? Have you done the early bird hotel? Because one of the things I am going to be covering on Road to San Diego is the advantages of staying downtown, staying a little bit further up into San Diego, maybe heading towards Little Italy, a little bit further afield. You also have the likes of other condos, sort of like other side of the I-5. You've got all the early bird hotels as well. What are the advantages of staying a little bit further afield? It's cheaper, and you've got a confirmed hotel, nice and out of the way. You've got free shuttles that get you down into the city. Yeah, it's a case of fun and games. It's a way of getting everybody accommodated for the show. Like Leanne says, she spotted and mentioned about the attendance that's been put forward by the convention center in their diary. 135,000 people through the door, which is still a very busy show. I think it is the number that kind of caught Leanne's attention, because she's still very concerned about staying or attending shows with those kind of numbers, and I totally get it. Totally get it. Let's have a look at this. Andrew Dickinson saying, and we don't need it. Loads of us got the hotel opposite the Broken Yoke. Excellent stuff. Congratulations to you. Karma Savage, I've never been so happy to hear Hotel Apocalypse will be happening soon. Indeed. I'm going to be looking for that. Solicitor Smeg talking about further afield. No parties waking you up in the night, and all that noise happening down in downtown. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Chuck Cook, who's going to be staying in town. Obviously, he's a local lad. Boy, howdy, am I glad I don't have to deal with that. And indeed, Dan Berry, also another San Diego resident. I've got my lodging this year. Boy, he likes to rub that in. Excellent stuff. Caroline D. Hello there, Caroline. New face, perhaps. I don't recognize the name. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm lucky as I have a friend that lives about 20 minutes to the convention center, so waiting on parking. Yes, that's something else that's going to be coming down the line. We've got Ace Parking to get dealt with as well. Into the Blue Mister. I was always lucky and managed to book the Indigo every time I stayed. So there we go. I'm like I say, I'm looking into condos, and I'll be kind of doing my big effort and push this week to try and get accommodation all sorted. But we will see how that pans out as well. So where were we? I was talking about guests. We were supposed to have 3 guests on today. And throughout the course of the week, they've been talking to us and really looking kind of building things up, and really up for talking to some interesting guests, at which point every single one of them just blew out and said that they weren't able to join us. I did have one one guest that I really wanted to talk to, which is Andrew Clemson. He's a British creator who's currently living in Dubai. And he is the writer of books like Star Bastard, Betty Noir, and also a new Kickstarter as well. He's writing at Scout Comics, and the book is Damsel from Distress, Distress. So it's kind of like acronym. So Man from Uncle, Damsel from Distress. And it looks really, really cool. I'm not going to lie. There's some fantastic elements to this thing, which is at the moment, Betty Noir, Damsel from Distress. I would let's see if I can actually bring something up so you can actually have a look at this, because it looks amazing. I think it's just a really cool looking book. And not only that, but you could tell that he's put a lot of time and effort into it with Kristen Tarthy. Being published on Mad Robot Comics, and it just looks really, really cool. Leanne D saying no Declan. We're going to talk about that in a second as well, because yes, no, Declan is not joining us this week. He's a little bit busy, however, confirmed. While I'm opening up this window, confirmed he is going to be joining us next Sunday. It's going to be the show in between this one and Road to San Diego, as we properly get started with our SDCC coverage. Yes, we're going to be talking to Declan Shalvey. It is happening next weekend. It's been confirmed. He's just too busy at the moment. I don't know if anyone saw his social media feed. He did have a bunch of commissions, which he had taken photos of. This was a whole bunch of Moon Knight pictures, sketches which he'd done, and commissions which he'd put together. At which point he's either been sorting out his studio or been moving, and he's lost them. So he's got these photos of these images, but he's got no art to send out to the people who paid for them. So he's having to redo them. So yeah, a little bit upsetting on that one, but yeah, he's getting himself sorted. But no, we are going to be joined by Declan Shalvey next week. So this is the book, which is this was Andrew Clemson. Andrew turned around and said that he would absolutely be up for joining us on today's show, except as it happens, he is, like I say, based in Dubai, and at the moment it's about 9:30 for him. it's a school night as well, so he's spending time with his kids. So yes, unfortunately, he was unable to join us. But I did promise that I wanted to mention about the comic and bring it up, Bête Noire. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to bring it up as well is just because it is just this very gorgeous, well put together book. The pair of them have really created something very, very special. It's this nice action, grim kind of semi superhero, semi vigilante book, kind of secret agent slash superhero book. It's really, really cool, and I wanted to just kind of bring it out as well. Yeah, Andrew Dickinson, it's a work day as well. Yeah, I can imagine. But it's just such a really, really cool book, and from what I looked at it, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to showcase this, and also shine a light on the Kickstarter as well. If anything, because as far as I'm aware, it's not actually that far from coming up to a close. So yeah, this is something that I wanted to kind of show attention to. But if, as always, any guests that you have that you want to kind of point a finger to and get on the show, as always, even if we're doing the road to San Diego, we want to showcase talent, we want to showcase creatives, we want to showcase Kickstarters as well. Anything where someone is really putting their heart and soul onto the page, that's what we want to kind of really get up and running. So yeah, please do spread the word. Let us know on social media, and we'll do our best to let people have the opportunity to spread the word for this. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Yep, this is Damsel from Distress, issues 1 to 3. It's a hotshot secret agent battling her ghost from her past. D&D meets the man from U.N.C.L.E., which, you know what, that sounds like such a cool premise as well. It's a shame that Andrew wasn't able to join us, unfortunately, but I wanted to showcase this because I think it's a really, really cool project. Like I say, it's still, as far as I'm aware, up and running. He was based in the Isle of Wight. I think he's coming back shortly. So do check out the basically, if you search for Andrew Clemson on the Kickstarter page and find out more about the book. But Damsel from Distress, issues 1 to 3. Is going to be available, and I would heartily recommend it because it looks really, really cool. So there we go. I wanted to. He wasn't able to join us for the show, unfortunately, but I wanted to kind of spread the word about that. So yeah, no guests. Nothing really to talk about until we kind of get things like Hotel Apocalypse up and running. We know about the behind-the-scenes stuff in terms of the exhibitors and getting their hotels all sorted out, but now it's just a case of getting ourselves as fans ready for the show. We've got ourselves a couple of comments. Let's jump back into these. We've got Karma Savage, anxious to see how chaotic Hotel Apocalypse will be, thus being the first SEC beat back since pre-pandemic. Absolutely right. Is it going to be as manic? Leandy said something last week which has got me thinking, which is about just how many people are going to be attending in terms of anyone returning tickets, anyone just deciding to take a pass on 2022, still being very concerned about the pandemic as currently standing. Yeah, I've really no idea. Andrew Dickinson did attend the talkback at WonderCon. From the talkback, they slipped that there may be a resale. It really confused the attendees. I don't doubt it. If they do organize something like that, it's going to have to happen really soon, like this week, if they're going to do a resale. Leanne, I stand by my statement, which I made last week. I think there's going to be a number of people that's going to have returned their tickets or just not going to attend in 2022. For all of us that are really excited about getting back to San Diego Comic-Con, for those that are really excited about seeing our friends again, I think there's a large proportion of people that will just take a bath and just stay away. That's personally my feeling. Indeed, turning around and saying that 135,000 most likely does not include exhibitors' numbers. I just don't see it. I don't see a full room. Not this year. So we go. Solicitor Smeg, I wonder if CCI will use the pandemic to put a lot more things in the portal, like panels and Lego minifig drawings to keep the lines down. I think that was going to be the plan anyway. The lines are not what they wanted. This is before pandemic. They wanted that down way before. I don't know about panels. I think they'll want to try and get the difficulty about putting things like Hall H into a panel draw is that the people that are wanting exhibiting on those stages, and they are paying for that space, they are paying to be up there on the stage and take that time. They want as many bodies through the door as possible, and any hindrance to that, any hurdles that stops people getting through the door. And not only that, but they really like the idea of having a massive long line outside of Hall H that can't get in. What do you think? That's going to look really good on the trade cover of Hollywood Reporter and Variety. We have a full panel for our thing. Look at this. People are really excited. That's the kind of thing that gets people's blood up. So when it comes to press, I think you won't be seeing something when it comes to Hall H. Stuff on the floor, exhibitors, anything that makes it easier and safer on the floor, that's CCI's purview. And that's where they have more control. And yes, I think it's going to be talking about that. What else we got on here? Solicitor Smeg, have you seen D&D Ravenloft Orphan of Agony Isle? It looks interesting. Drop me a link. Let's have a look. We'll bang it up on screen now. If you've got that to hand, please do let us know and see what happens on that. Andrew Dickinson, it was a question if people could buy extra days to top up 4 days, so people had Thursday, Sunday, could they add Friday to Saturday? One of the special guests at WonderCon had 7 people in attendance when I went past when it had started. Yeah, so there we go. Leon D, everyone is just going on with their lives. I know one other people who are not going. Everybody I know had badges are going. I didn't have a badge. Understandable. There's different priorities. And we kind of talked about this last week, where conventions now lie in people's interests and priorities, and what that's going to do to the landscape of pop culture. Because it's much the same way that for me, a town here in the UK, I've always believed that a town is determined, its lifeblood, by the amount of pubs it has open on a weekend. It's lifeblood, it's its social aspect, it's excitement and interest and kind of living life and stuff. If pop culture doesn't have anything to celebrate it, does that hurt pop culture? We have seen some really depleted numbers of people going to see things at the cinema, going to see things at in other elements of pop culture, theatre, music. Things have just been kind of like put to one side because, like Leanne says, there's other priorities now, other things. Andrew Dickinson, Spider-Man got 2 billion without any cons, but quite frankly, yeah, how many other superhero bits and pieces were actually up and running that people were interested in? Spider-Man was an outlier. It was on its own, really. Marvel is all on the small screen at the moment. You had a couple of things, but nothing really kind of distracting it from there. It didn't have something like Dune to kind of go up against, so it kind of like stood around on its own. So there we go. And Spider-Man, not only that, also benefited from very large price hikes when it comes to the box office as well. So you can kind of take a little bit off that as well. So let's just make, I'm not sure they're going to want to point to how many people they had in line if an outbreak hits. That as well. Very good point. Very good point indeed. Sarita P, this will be the norm going forward. It's not going away, and the con will have to adjust to it going forward. Correct. Very correct. So there we go. It's about adapting, evolving, which is why I'm really stunned we're not going to be seeing, although I haven't talked about, more online stuff. We've got time yet, but I'm very surprised that we're not going to be seeing kind of like a Comic-Con online, just like we had when they were away for the couple of years. They did something online. I'm stunned they haven't learned their lesson from that. Then again, I'm stunned that more cons haven't learned their lessons from pandemic, and they've just returned to it like, okay, back to business as usual. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that at all. So there we go. What else can we talk about? Yeah, have you got? I'm going to see if I can find this link for that was being shared to us, or at least the D&D Ravenloft Orphan of Agony. I've never heard of it. So let's see. Let's put it up. Let's have a look at what it actually looks like. So if you're going to kind of, hang on a second. That's the Forbidden Planet. Then let's go to Kickstarter. Okay. Right. It looks like it's left Kickstarter and has now become an actual book that's going to be arriving in June of 2022. Let's bring it up on screen. This is, hey, listen, if you're going to spread the word, if you're going to ask us to have a look at something, I'm going to have a look at it, because you guys always bring me the best stuff. Sorry to quote Serenity at you, but I just did. There we go. This is from Previews World. Writer Aaron Harvey, art by Corin Howell. Corin is just stunning. I'm a fan of Corin's work. Excellent stuff. Frankenstein meets D&D, miraculously revived from what appears to have been a gruesome death. Miranda finds herself brought back to life with no memory in the mysterious lab of the infamously talented Dr. Victor Mordenheim of Lamordia. Oh, God. Through unsavory experiments and flashbacks illustrated by new guest artists each issue, Miranda will begin to piece together, literally one body part at a time, how she met such a horrifying fate. Published by IDW. And nothing else just yet, but that's our preview just yet. Thank you very much indeed for sharing that. I will have to check it out, if anything, for Corin Howell, because if her name's involved, then it's going to be something special. So thanks for that. Thanks for spreading the word. We will give that a spell a little bit later. Excellent stuff. Let's have a look at what else we got. Some other comments. Leandy, if I had a badge, I might go, but I just don't feel comfortable with those numbers. Coachella is happening full strength. Yeah, lots of young'uns. And frankly, I really am going to have to investigate my K-pop, aren't I? My God, it was a K-pop heavy setup. I turned on my social media very late at night last night, and kind of all sorts of live streams going off. Toby, morning Leonard and all, just to pop in to say hi, off to see Morbius. Please let us know what you think, because heaven knows the reviews haven't been kind. Let us know what you think. Drop us a line on social media. Just keep us know what's going on. Veronica, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Star Wars Celebration, as many attendees are traveling to the con, and it's the first full capacity con I'll be at or have attended. Please do let us know how that goes. I mean, Star Wars Celebration is an odd one anyway, because they do just pack so many people in. It is a convention that just absolutely is just this mammoth ramming in. It's very intense. I mean, I've been to some intense conventions, but Star Wars Celebration was the one I went to. The best, the description I usually have is, you know how you have cordial to put into your water, and you have yourself your drink, and it you put a small drop in, and it turns into your orange cordial and your blackcurrant cordial, whatever. Going to Star Wars Celebration is like taking a big glug from your cordial bottle, undiluted. It's just so much, to the point where when I went to Star Wars Celebration, I had to step out several times throughout the course of the day just to get a bit of perspective. It was a bit much. It's a bit much. But if you're heading there, I mean, it's full on, and fair play to you. Like I say, there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there. They go to Star Wars Celebration and they go hard. Just be very, very careful. Just be very, very careful. There you go. Leon D, Star Wars changed their VX and testing recommendation, loosening the original they posted back in March. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're still in place, but hopefully the next couple of days or next week or so, we're going to be looking at Hotel Apocalypse. Where are you wanting to go? What advantages do you feel? Let's do this for the next sort of like 10 minutes. Let's just cover this. It's something that I was going to be doing properly, and I will be doing properly as part of Road to San Diego starting 1st of May. But what is your take on Hotel Apocalypse? And is it something that you take part in? Are you more of finding a Motel 6 somewhere a little bit further uptown, a lot cheaper? Do you feel it's still a lot of money for a room in San Diego when there are so many other places and options and availabilities? Is it another way for the hotel industry to kind of claw back some of the funds? There we go. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Andrew Dickinson is saying that he's needing a hotel for the Monday after the con. Dude, I'm after a hotel for the week. So yeah, I get it. He has a lodger in the form of Andy T. Congratulations to you. Celestra Smeg, we get Airbnbs like 30 to 45 minutes outside the city. Yeah. So it's a case of just keeping things available. So yeah, that's when we've done, myself and Caroline, we've done condos in the past. We've just been very, very lucky. I wish that the room at the El Cortez was available again, because it's a great building. It's a great spot in town. And yeah, I really enjoy the history of the El Cortez. I enjoy the view looking down over San Diego. Yeah, it's something I really look forward to. Veronica, I've never done Hotel Apocalypse, but the regular hotel prices are so high already, it might just be needed. Yeah, absolutely right. And Karma Savage, I'm old and spoiled. Shush, not at all old. Spoiled. I must be near the convention center. And by near, I mean within a couple of blocks. I mean, the first year I stayed there in San Diego, it was first year. I think we're up at the Holiday Inn at the top end of town. I think that's been bought out by the Hilton now. So we were there. The year after, I think we stayed in the not Holiday Inn, no, it was the Holiday Inn. Opposite in Gaslamp. That was a lot of fun. Andrew Dickinson, there are a few new hotels since 2019. Andrew English, I normally miss Hotel Apocalypse and go for motels 15 minutes out by tram. Yeah, if you get somewhere right on that little Italy swing by, or even Old Town. Old Town's a great part of the town, a great part of San Diego, and you're right on the trolley line, straight into town, straight into the convention center. And as anybody who's ever gone to a convention, and first thing in the morning with all the cosplayers on board, it's always a fun, energetic ride, and it's just great. There we go. Yeah, there's lots of options, and I don't think it's necessary that Hotel Apocalypse could just check out. Andrew English, I go out east, go the other way, heading over the bridge direction, or near the bridgeway. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I've never been that far out. I've only been down that neck of the woods. I think I was looking for a target. I think I was looking for a target to try and find a camp bed for our condo at the time. Yeah, I need to explore that area a bit more, to be fair. Yeah, there you go. Solicitor Meg, if you want to forego the Hotel Pockets, you're going to get a room at Bayfront for 2K a night. Be sure to invite me. Let's see if the Euro Millions rocks up first. If I get the Euro Millions, I'll get everybody. I'll buy a hotel and we'll all stay there. We'll all live together forever. Whee! Chuck Cook, we used to stay at the Holiday Inn Express next to the Alta El Cortez. The walk to the convention center was good, but going back is all uphill. You know what, Chuck, that was actually one of the best things for it for me, because that was my exercise, especially when you're walking up inclines like that to get to the El Cortez for the final two blocks. There we go. There we go. Andrew Dickinson, there were a lot of empty shop fronts at special edition, though. Yes, Clydine Nee, unfortunately, she's missed the show today, but hopefully she's watching now. She says you're going to possibly send someone around to have a look around San Diego and see what the actual town is like for 2022. So, really curious. Into the Blue, Mr. The Euro Million statement is contractually binding. Listen, I'll be up for I'll listen if the Euro Millions rocks up, I'd be happy to throw a sizable wad of cash and get everyone accommodation for the convention this year. So I'd really screw over Hotel Apocalypse in a big way. So there we go. We have ourselves. What's this? s09e22 is D23 this year. Yes, it is. So you got D23 as well happening this year as well. So you've got all these shows that are kind of taking all the attention. And we have yet to hear as well if we're going to be having a DC fandom as well. I am Twitter friends with a couple of high-ups in the old DC arrangement. Heaven knows Jim Lee follows me. He never talks to me, but he does follow me. So I might just sort of send him a message saying, dude, so what's happening? Are we actually having a DC fandom? Danbury, return of Lightbox Expo. And D23 is happening September 9th to 11th. So there we go. Something else we'll quickly dive into so before we do disappear, which has been reminded to me of by Dan Berry, as is his wont. We already talked about one panel that's taking place with Aaron Nabus and Rob Sarkowitz, but the programming has gone live for next weekend's San Diego Comic Fest, taking place at the 4 Points at Sheraton. This is a show that a lot of people are very, very excited about because it's something very special. San Diego Comic Fest has been a show that has got so much energy as a kind of not new, but it's got that kind of vintage vibe in 2022. I'm hoping that they do something a little bit with the programming, in that they'll do a little bit more celebration of more contemporary prospects and IPs, because there is very much a vintage feel and a real look back. But let's have a look at some of the panels this time around for 2022, kicking off on Friday. Let's have a quick look through and see what kind of catches our attention. We have ourselves Star Trek Comedy Hour. We have Spotlight on Mark Badger. Clydine Nee is going to be appearing at San Diego Comic Fest doing a UFO panel. It's something that she knows a lot about, and her and William Clausen have been doing some great guns at conventions, including special edition, including WonderCon. Here, talking about unidentified submerged objects. So we've got all the objects that down in the depths to be explored. But this is all the panels as is. Let's have a quick look at some of the highlights. So this is Friday. 30 Years of Wildstorm. That one's going to be rather interesting. Introduction to 3D modeling with Blender. There we go. That's the kind of thing I mean. Something a little bit more forward thinking. So that's rather cool. What happened to the future? The comics of Star Trek. 40 Years of Conan and the Barbarian. They do like it. The anniversaries, don't they? So that's going to be coming up. Comic State of the Art with Rob Sakowitz and Michael Dooley. That should be rather cool. Amazing animation run of Max and Dave Fleischer. My word, that could be very interesting as well, because if anybody's seen the Superman, Max Fleischer, they'll know that is as good as Superman ever got. Yeah, that's rather cool. Home to Stay, the complete Ray Bradbury EC stories. That could be rather cool as well. Let's have a look at the. Is this Friday as well? Oh, that's Friday as well. Saturday. Let's have a look at Saturday. Starting at 10 o'clock. Jackie Estrada, stop me if you've heard this one. Stories from Meeting the Greats. And she's met and photographed them all. So that could be rather fun. 40 Years of Blade Runner with Paul Salmon and Neil Hendricks. 40 Years of G.I. Joe, 50 Years of Women's Comics with Trina Robbins and Sydney Heller. My word, how about that for a full-blown superstar lineup? Trina actually has a number of panels throughout the course of the day by the looks of things. Underground Comics panel with Trina, Bruce Simon and William Stout. That's at 1 o'clock. Judging the Eisner Awards with the likes of everybody except Jackie Estrada. That makes no sense. She's the person that puts it together. Why is she not on that panel? That's so weird. 2 o'clock. Right, Dan, if you're going to be in the room, Dave Stevens, 40 Years of the Rocketeer. If you can film that, if you wouldn't mind, please. I want to see that panel, if you wouldn't mind. Comic Con looking forward from Rob Sarkowitz. Interesting. Spotlight on Dustin Nugent with Matt Dunford helming that one. Scott Shaw, 50 Year of Funny, tribute to Gene Roddenberry, with the likes of Chris Ryle and Peter David. How to keep comics thriving in 2022 and beyond. That's TJ Shelvin. Always a good guy to keep on your radar. Follow him on social media. Stars My Destination on Twitter. Very, very cool. Rob Sarkowitz, Jamie Newbold, and Chris Ryle. That's a superstar lineup. And if anyone's going to have a perspective on how comics can move forward from 2022 and onwards, that'd be rather cool. And then on the Sunday, let's have a look at some things that kind of jump out at me. Let's have a look at Remembering Jack Kirby and Steve Sharman, Mark Vanier, Bruce Simon, Ran Hop, and Mark Badger. The Hanna-Barbera Legacy, Scott Short, Mark Vanier, and TJ Shelvin. So the Mark Vanier show, really, as is his wont. He will kind of dominate the conversation on that. But the thing is, the man knows his stuff, so you can kind of get that one. Right, let's see who you're up against. Rob and Aaron Neighbours. Let's see who you're up against. Chris Ryle, David Boer, and TJ Shalvin, Synergy Publishing Image Comics. To boldly go, Wes Young, Roddenberry, Writer for Hire, Jackie Estrada, Jim Thompson, and Jeffrey Gobapule. You've got a tough couple of panels there you're up against, sirs. So all the very best to you, Rob and Aaron, for getting as many people through the door on that one as well. And then you have 6 Decades of Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, and Doctor Doom. Vanier, Peter David, Jim Kruger, and Ran Hop. And the science of the Speed Force. So a nice little discussion on the Flash to kind of finish off on. Although there is a panel at 4 o'clock, which I'm certain everyone's going to be clamoring for right at the very end. It doesn't even give any details, so anyone could dive in on this one. Introduction to Creating NFTs. Well, you know what? If that's what floats your boat, you knock yourselves out. So there we go. Oh, it is. It's pronounced win. Yeah, we had this last week, didn't we? Sorry about that, Dan. You're absolutely right. Into the Blue Mister. Anything with Barry Windsor Smith Conan Art, I'm in. Let's have a look at this. What else we got in terms of comment? Into the Blue Mister as well. Those Fleischer Studio Superman cartoons are the pinnacle of animation, as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to find much argument in my part of call, sir, because yeah, I'm a big fan as well. And then just to kind of wrap things up, there we go. There's a lot of new Rocketeer stuff out, new pins, new t-shirts, a new board game, and a new IDW series. If you could, please be in the room for that one, Dan. I want to see that panel, please. So there we go. All right. If you are going to check out the convention next week, it's San Diego Comic Fest. And yeah, we've spoken to Matt before. You know what the vibe is. It really is a friendly, intimate, warm, welcoming flashback to Comic-Con gone by. Imagine a time warp back to the mid to late 70s, early 80s, when Comic-Con was just growing, and it was about the development of pop culture and fandom. This is about a celebration of that. So if you do get the chance, do head yourself to San Diego Comic Fest if it's something that you're in the neighborhood for. So do go check that out. Okay, that's us. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Bit of an issue with the technicals, and like I say, I'm streaming from my phone at the moment, which is not ideal, but that's the way that it's worked when it comes to the internet in the building today. Hopefully, we'll have everything sorted out for next Sunday, where we are going to be talking to a creator who's got a lot on his plate. It's got to be said. I asked him if there's anything he wants to talk about, thinking that he was just wanting to talk about Moon Knight. This is Declan Shalvey. As it happens, Declan turned around and said, I have got stuff that I have got happening, and I am up for talking about it. So he's going to be he's shared with a whole bunch of links for us. So yeah, we're going to be talking to Declan Shalvey next week. For at least half an hour, 40 minutes, because Declan can talk as much as I can. Like Andrew English, it'll only be a short one, goes over an hour. Yeah, shock or a surprise, it's me. It's the way it works. Aaron Neighbours, thanks, Leonard. Thanks for an awesome week, everyone. Yeah, that's us. We'll tap out at this point. Back again next week. Do join us, Declan Shalvey. Like I say, we'll be on episode. What are we on? 4? We'll be on episode 4 next week, and it's barreled on, hasn't it? And I would even turn around and say that you could have made a film out of it. But the way that it's been done as a series, it's really giving you a chance to kind of really get into the multiple personalities. It's allowing you a little bit more time to breathe and digest and think about what you've seen. I personally really, really like Moon Knight. I think it's a great show. I don't think it's doing the idea of multiple personalities particularly well. There's some things in there which are a little bit problematic, but it's getting into the whole idea of multiple voices and multiple elements controlling this one man that really needs to do what he needs to do. I personally like to find out how gods actually work in a Marvel Cinematic Universe, where we kind of determined that gods are aliens and magic is science, and even the whole waving of the arms and conjuring spells is basically drawing power from other dimensions. So that's more of a science. It's kind of like a melding of the two. How does actual gods work in the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How does Khonshu and the rest of the Panoply actually work in the mechanics of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I'm curious, and I'd really like to see how it's going to play out. 6 episodes. We'll be on episode 4, and next week we will be talking to Declan Shalvey, who, of course, he showed up at the premiere in LA. He the show itself, especially when it comes to Mr. Knight and a couple of the design aspects of it, it's very much drawn from Declan's pen. So yeah, I'm really interested to talk to him about Moon Knight, but of course he's got lots of stuff on his plate as well. So we're going to be going into all of the things that's keeping Declan Shalvey busy at the moment. That is 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT next week. Hopefully you can join us for our Declan Shalvey show. And then the week after, the road to San Diego. We could be having a Hotel Apocalypse between and before then. So we may be doing an incidental episode to talk about Hotel Apocalypse. Do keep your eyes open on your inboxes, because I get the feeling it's going to be before May and it's going to happen soon. Michael P., Hotel Apocalypse, we're watching, we're waiting, and we're anticipating. I think you're right. I think we're nearly there. So keep your eyes open, and you never know. If it happens before the 1st of May, before the road to San Diego properly starts here on this channel, well, we'll do an incidental and we'll cover it a little bit better, and we'll get into the hotels that are available, any changes to the hotels, how the prices are looking. Let's look back at previous prices and how that's just kind of developed, and how because remember, there are multiple forces at work within San Diego. There is the mayor's office. There are the very powerful elements of the hotel industry and the accommodation elements in town. We've got MTS. We've got all these different mechanics which exert their own forces on the show. So we're going to try and kind of dive into all of that. So keep your eyes open on your inbox, Hotel Apocalypse. And if we have something that drops middle of the week, we'll do our best to do a midweek show, and we'll do something special about Hotel Apocalypse right here on the channel. Do like and subscribe. Please follow what we're up to here on the channel. Like and subscribe, and you'll know when we go live, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. And hopefully you can join us for next week's show as we speak to Declan Shalvey next week. And I think that's going to be it's going to be a fun chat. But then again, it's Declan. It always is. And the boy has got a lot to show us. So yeah, it's going to be a fun show. Do join us. Hopefully you can take time next Sunday for Talkin Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. For myself, Leonard, have yourself a great week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.